What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you guys with another marker watch today. That's common question of the day. What would you choose for your OTS Tournament Pack 14 card list? I mean, go into it. Go into details. Type in the comments down below. I mean, we just recently got the leak of OTS Tournament Pack 14, so obviously whatever you say, that's not on here. It's probably not going to be it. But if you had the opportunity to go to Konami and change some of these cards, what would it be and why? So, looking at OTS Tournament Pack 14, I'm going to go over a couple of cards. We're going to go over the cards in the market. And then we're going to go over cards I felt like should have been the OTS 14 picks. And might realistically even be on OTS Tournament Pack 15. More than likely, it will happen. Okay, so we'll go right into it. Nibiru, the Primal Being as Ultimate Rare, is a phenomenal Ultimate Rare. Super Polymerization is a phenomenal Ultimate Rare. Toon Kingdom? Toon Kingdom? Where did this come from? Don't get me wrong, I think it's really cool that Konami makes Ultimate Rare cards that are made for Yu-Gi-Oh! Players to go to locals to attain, and they somehow do that and turn it around for collectors. Ultimate Rare Toon Kingdom does look nice, and I think a lot of collectors and casual players even are really excited about this. This card has no place being right here, right now. I'll be honest with you. I don't like Toon Kingdom in this set. With that said, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. OTS Tournament Pack 14 isn't a bad OTS set. It's not as bad as 13. And to be straight up with you, I think that Konami did a phenomenal job with at least 2 out of the 3 Ultimate Rares. I mean, think about it. Everyone's playing Nibiru. And Super Polymerization is a card that maybe might not see as much play now, but has always a potential chance to see play. The card is amazing. Especially if Konami's going to make, hopefully, with the next ban list hits to Infernoble Knights and hits to Dragon Link, we could see decks like Eldritch, Invoke, Shadows be used more. And if that's the case, cards like Super Polymerization can actually show more play. Of course, this is also factor out the fact that there's a chance Konami can make more cards that work in conjunction with Super Polymerization. So even though this card, recently came with the ban list and there's other cards that definitely should have been instead of Super Polymerization, I'm actually not mad about it. I think it's a great Ultimate Rare, as well as Nibiru. Toon Kingdom, I'm not a big fan of that at all. I think it's a horrible idea. Konami's reaching for collectors in a set made for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Players at locals. I don't agree with this whatsoever. I don't like it, especially since you reprinted Toon Kingdom already as an Ultra Rare. So once again, I think this is a horrible pick. It could have been something made more for GOATs, and we'll get into that. What card I felt would have been amazing if they made to adhere to the GOAT community, the competitive community, and casual community would have loved, as well as the collectors community. It's a better choice than Toon Kingdom. We'll get to that later on in this video. Guys, if you're new to the video, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Want to see me on Twitch win and or lose at Yu-Gi-Oh! Events on remote duels? Links will be down below for that. Want to support the channel? Got TCG player link down below in case you want to buy anything. Click on my link, and a certain percentage goes to me, and it goes to me buying more Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I'd greatly appreciate it either way. The main thing I would like, guys, realistically, is obviously you subscribing to this channel, hit notification bell because when I do my videos and when I do my live streams, as well as commenting down below. I think today's a good day for communication amongst Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. Call it a hunch. The Super Rares coming out of OTS Tournament Pack 14 aren't too bad, to be honest with you. I think we have 2, possibly 3 Super Rares I'm not crazy about, but they're not all winners. And that's what basically what OTS packs have been historically. We got a bunch of cards that we like, and there's cards that we're just like, alright, for real, what's happening here? And that's kind of fine. I mean, we have Madoche Messenger Lotto. Not a bad card. We have a Parallel Exceed. Pretty good card. Super Quantum Red Layer, great. Appointed Red Lotus, awesome, finally. Smoke Grenade Thief, sure. I mean, realistically, 1, but okay. Some Avatar Spirit Token, alright, 10E players, there you go. Right up the Force Tricks, which is great, hopefully you sold yours already. Inferno General, now this might be good in the future, maybe? I don't really know what's going on with that. And then we have Unpossessed and UA Signing Deal. I'm sorry, UA players, that should not be there, but whatever. For commons, the commons aren't bad whatsoever. Think about it. Demise of the Land is very expensive. I covered it in my market watch a week ago. Maybe even sooner than that, to be honest with you. My memory is really bad. Phantom Knights of Shade Brigade has always seen play sporadically throughout the meta. Great card. Ancient Cloak, seeing a common reprinting is great. I wish it did Cloak and Boots, but once again, awesome. Atlantian Dragoons is a big deal. And I'll get to those prices in the market in a second. Void Ogre Dragon's another great card. Though I really wish it was... once again, it was Boots instead of Void Ogre. So let's look at this from a market perspective, because I think it's really important to analyze it that way. Neighborhood Department being coming in at 2019 Gold Stock Megatins with a $15 market price is roughly still around about $14, almost near $15 still. The cards are expensive. You need 3 of them, and 3 times 15, $45 plus shipping and all that jazz. About $50 for 3 cards, and you need this. Seeing the fact that we're seeing Nibiru come as an Ultimate Rare will hopefully lower the prices of the Gold Stock Megaton Prismatic Secrets. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's going to, because you made a Prismatic Secret, which is still relatively high. In my personal case, what I'm going to do is, when I get my 3 Ultimate Nibirus, I'm still keeping my Prismatic Secrets because they look really nice. I think if they were regular secrets, I would have had them on the market already. But being the fact that, you know, we are getting Ultimate Rare, maybe some Yu-Gi-Oh! Players will throw this on the market and would lower the price point. I'm not doing it, but I can see a lot of other Yu-Gi-Oh! Players do it as well. It's a lot of money right now for this card. Super Optimization would have been, once again, not my pick as a card, but it's still a card I'm okay with. It did recently get reprinted as a Super Rare in OTS Tournament Pack 9, and now as an Ultimate Rare in OTS Tournament Pack 14. Yes, there's a 5 OTS Tournament Pack difference, but is it what? Listen, I still think Super Optimization as Ultimate Rare is totally fine. I know there's a lot of other cards we could have. In this video, we're going to talk about other cards that should have been instead. But I don't think it's something Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are going, oh man, it's still a beautiful looking Ultimate Rare. And to be honest with you, I'm really excited to go ahead and grab my playset when it comes out. Then we have Toon Kingdom. This right here, Konami, is my problem with you. Listen. When you have the last OTS 1 Pack 13, even though I didn't like Raphicilia, there were still Trap6 players playing that card. So even though I didn't like it, you still had players actively playing that card. Book of Moon is your way of talking to competitive. Not really competitive, the casual, the collector in a weird way. More importantly, the Go format player. So once again, I didn't like it, but I understood it. And then you had Abyssal, and now it's for competitive players. And I'm like, there you go, Konami. I'm totally with it. Toon Kingdom adheres only to, at best, a very small percentage of casual players, and at best, all the collectors. So seeing this done like this, I just don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. Once again, like I said, in the video, I'll talk about other cards. Toon Kingdom also recently getting reprinted. You might have known this set. It's called Dragons and Legends, a complete series. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of it. It's been out for about a month, less than a month probably, I'm thinking, right? Dragons and Legends. I mean, like I said, super hard to get. I mean, you have 3 options of the card, 4 options of the card. There's 4 options, it's not 3. 4 options in a 3 of kind of limit card game. Konami, what are you doing? You could have made Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight, and everyone would have been like, okay, that's fine. Because weebs in this game are everywhere, and they would totally be okay with that. Moving on. Madochi mentioned Lotto as a super rare is phenomenal super. I really felt like this card was reprinted as an ultra rare. Maybe I'm wrong, but seeing this card as a super rare, I think it's a great idea. I mean, yes, you kind of missed a beat with rocks because this card was mainly used in rocks, but there are Madochi players out there. So the fact that Madochi players can upgrade their deck, which is still a really good deck, with the Madochi Messenger Lotto, yeah, I mean, this is a $4, almost $5 with shipping, rare out of Abyss Rising. I'm glad this card actually is getting a reprint. You also have Super Quantum Red Layer. I mean, the common version was hitting at $1.5. It's now down to $2.50. The ultra rares, are very expensive still. So it's cool to see that middle ground, the super rares. It will definitely kill the value of the common. Give you players want to play Infinite Nobles and access this card super rare. I personally still like the ultra rare more, but super rare is still really good. And then A Point of the Red Lotus. Of course, this card needed a reprint, and I'm glad Konami finally did it. A Point of the Red Lotus, with almost their $11 market price currently, is roughly around $5 to $6.50. It's still a lot of money for a common, but then again, currently right now, you only have access to this card as a common from Solaris Overdrive. So once again, I really do like the fact that Konami went ahead and made it super rare. It's long overdue. Then Smoke Grenade the Thief. I don't kind of care about this card. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad this card's getting a reprint. And not only any reprint, a reprint as a super rare. Cool. I'm very excited about that because I play him for Noble Knights. But if we're going to be honest with ourselves, this card should have been reprinted a long time ago. I really think so. I really think, once again, Konami should have just said, listen, we're going to print this card and whatever and make that super rare slot something else. Maybe something else for Mermels. I think that would have been kind of cool. Mermels recently getting the, comment down below the card. You already know what I'm talking about. I'm really bad with all their names. Anyway, the one that you just scored on Mermel and you get the certain, it recently came out, but still, let's be honest, OTS 14 has a lot of cards that recently came out, right? Toon Kingdom. as a reprint. Anyway, it'd been cool to see another Mermail card, super rare, in OTS Tournament Pack 14. But hey, we got Smoke Grenade at Time Thief. I'm not going to complain. This card was very expensive. I mean, the market price of the Dark Beginning 2 is $20. The market price of the Legacy of Darkness is 15. The values are already down to about $6 a pop. Still a lot of money, but with a super rare on the horizon, the value of this card obviously is going to tank. Raptor Force is a card I said a long time ago to sell. Now, here's where it gets kind of crazy. With the super rare coming out, Raptor Vortex Ultra Rare might still be around $4. Maybe slowly going up to 6 because super rare is in the middle ground. The secret rare, though, doesn't care. Look at it. With a near $10 market price, the value is roughly around almost near $10. Maybe this goes out a couple of sales, but a majority of you players holding a secret rare Raptor Force tricks coming out of Ring Raiders, they're not going to sell this card. I predict this card will still maintain good value. You know what's going to be dead in value? Demise of the Land. We just talked about this. Demise of the Land, original print at Atlantian Destruction with a $6 market price, is roughly around $5 still. So this card's going to be useless soon, and good. This card's kind of, it's been a lot of money for a long time, and it's finally good to see this card get hit. Well, hit in the essence of it losing its value. Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak ain't going anywhere. The Ultra Rare as well as Secret Rare is also going to maintain good value. The Ultra Rare might go down temporarily. We're already seeing it now. The market price is going to be $7. The listings to have the card at $6. The Ultra Rare might go down a little bit. Maybe even the Secret Rare might tank a little bit and then spike back up in value. Super Rare does not equate Ultra or Secret Rare, especially Secret Rare coming out of Battles of Legends. That's going to be money still. The Common, yeah, that value's gone. Then we have Atlantian Dragoons. This card needed a reprint. First of all, Dragoons should have been a super rare, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. But whatever. This card should have been a reprint a very, 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 very long time. Let me explain. When OTS Tournament Pack 1 came out, I was like, wow, we have an opportunity to see Dragoons get a reprint as a super rare. Or even a common. Great. Fast forward that by 14 OTS pack releases, we finally get a Dragoons reprint. Now, don't get your boy V wrong, okay? I have an illness of the mind, okay? I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm sick. So when I buy a deck that I like Atlantian Mermails, I'll buy that bad boy max rarity. So I own my OT Dragoons. Just throw it out there. I'll be honest with you guys. With that said, I think it's awesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Players that are starting to slowly play the game again, or maybe starting to slowly try to figure out other decks, can now have access to Atlantian Dragoons as a common. Don't get me wrong, I think it should have been super rare, but even still, the fact that you have access to this card at a cheaper price point, other than the crazy high price point, the structure that came out forever ago version, awesome. I mean, look at Dragoons with a $6 market price is roughly around $5 for a super rare. Is that other water card here? No, I forgot its name already. Anyway, to see this card actually go down in value is great. But we're going to be completely honest with ourselves. The market always balances itself back. Let me explain. Even though Atlantian Dragoons at one point, which I think was roughly around $9, is now down to $5, which will be completely... It's going to go lower, by the way, as the common version comes out. The market is going to readjust itself. And what I mean by that is other cards, maybe like Atlantian Heavy Infantry... Okay, this is a super rare. It's already up $7 from its $6 market price. But you want to talk about even common heavy infantry. The common version is still roughly around $3. You're gonna want to get 2 of those. Of course, we have Marksman, another card. I mean, that's for the ultimate rare. If you want the common version, it's currently still $1. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you're looking to play Mermails, Atlantian Mermails, start getting these cards now before the price rises, because the market will reevaluate and readjust itself all the time. It's always going to happen. So get there before it happens. A lot of other cards like Abyss Megalo came out super rare in Shadows of Valhalla. As well as Abyss came out super rare in Shadows of Valhalla. These are great pickups in case you want to build Mermails, which is now more of a cheap budget deck, which is still a really, 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 really good deck. I really want to emphasize the point of the fact that Dragoon getting reprinted is a huge deal for Mermail players and prospective new Mermail players who don't have to shell out a ton of money for an old structure deck super rare. Up next, ask about some Joy Spring. So let's talk about cards that should have been, well, I don't know how to say this, in OTS Tournament Pack 13. We're at the 14 and we still don't have it. We're due for a hand trap. We're long overdue for a hand trap in OTS packs. Looking at Ask about some Joy Spring, yeah, we are long overdue for this card. The fact that this card still hasn't got an Ultimate Rare printing is really annoying and saddening. Yes, we have a bunch of copies of Ash Blossom Joyous Springs. And yes, they're all a lot of money, including the common version that came in that Structure Deck Soul Burner, which is currently $12. Konami, wake up. You're going to want to wake up for this. This should have been Ultimate Rare. The fact that it's still not, well, not bueno. Then we have Infinite Permanents. As much as I'm a big fan of max rarity stuff, I'm not blind to the fact that there are Yu-Gi-Oh players in this game that don't have that money. But those Yu-Gi-Oh players can enter their OTS tournament, get an OTS pack, and hopefully pull a super rare or even a common version of Infinite Permanents, thereby equaling out the game state. You see, even though I like max rarity, and I guarantee you a lot of competitive players will tell you the same thing, by the way. We're all on the same level. We like max rarity so much. But in order for this game to progress, because ideally you want the game to progress, even though you want max rarity, because that's how it works, or else the game dies and max rarity means nothing, you gotta have these cards that you might have at a high rarity, like Secret Rare, Flames Destruction, Infinite Permanents, at a lower rarity. So it's in my best interest as a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player who likes max rarity to have reprints of cards at lower rarity. It's in your best interest if you can't afford these cards. So we had that understanding. I really want to emphasize that point because it's a point that a lot of people don't understand. When I'm showing a max rarity deck, doesn't mean that I go, I'm better than you or whatever. No, it's just something I like. With that said, this card should have been an OTS tournament pack 14, 13, 12, 11. You get the point. This card should have been Ultimate Rare as soon as possible. And hey, listen, maybe not Ultimate Rare. Maybe make it a Super Rare. Maybe make it a Common. Probably not going to happen, though, because this is a really hot card. The cheapest version of Infinite Permanents coming at a Dual Overload is at $40. You want to talk about the original print version? Woo! Original print Infinite Permanents coming out of Flames Destruction Secret Rare with a $74 market price. Okay, so we got Lightning Play Unlimited about $74, and you got a first version roughly around $91. Yeah, this card's due for a reprint. Then we have Evenly Matched. Now, a lot of people might not be excited about this card as a reprint, but you really need to know that this card needs to be reprinted. Yes, the value is like $19 for a Dual Power Ultra Rare. Sure, that's kind of cheap, I guess. It's so cool to see this card get a reprint because it's a phenomenal sided card. Arguably, one of the best sided cards in the game right now. Think about it. Not everybody's going to shell out money for Lightning Storms. And I don't blame them. That card's, what, $105 each? You got to buy 3? That's, what, $320, $325 with shipping? Taxes? That's crazy. Evenly Matched, though, it's about $60. So it's a lot cheaper. Still a lot of money, but a lot cheaper. So obviously, Yu-Gi-Oh players can play Evenly Matched over Lightning Storms. And I don't blame them. Once again, it's a great card. Here's the thing, though. It's still $60. And to see this card get reprinted in an OTS pack, maybe even as a super rare, or even as an ultra rare, would kill the values at the very least of the ultra coming at dual power, and arguably kill the values as the original print secret rares. Whether it's a secret rare from Circuit Break or 2018 Megaton secret rare, it would kill those values. So I was hoping this would be another great reprint target. It's not yet. Hopefully OTS on pack 15. BLS is my pick, by the way. So when Konami is doing this weird thing lately, we've been noticing with OTS packs, is they'll get one card for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players, and they'll just throw it out there for all of us, and we'll go nom nom, and we'll eat it. In OTS 13, it's Abyss Dweller. In OTS 14, I think we can all agree it's in the Nibiru. Then they'll have another card that's not fully meta, but it's still there for the meta, and it's kind of the delineation of like casual players and competitive players, that middle ground kind of card. I think Super Polymerization is that middle ground card. Once again, I'm not a big fan of it, but I do get why it's there. And then they have a third one that's more or less meant for just, I mean, that's the rogue pick. And normally it's, you know, you'll see something like Goats, like we've seen Scapegoats, we've seen Book of Moon, like a Go format kind of card, which is kind of cool to be honest with you, because those cards are expensive. To see a reprint of those cards would be great. My pick would have been Black Soldier and Void the Beginning. Here's why. You touch on competitive players that just want this card. They might not need it, but they want it. It's in their toolbox. They love it. Casual players can't get enough of this card. And collectors, are you kidding me? Collectors will chop their arm off, mail it to you in hopes that you'll put them in a raffle to see if they have a chance to buy this card from you at max value release day. That's how much collectors love Black Soldier and Void the Beginning. Toon Kingdom was a horrible pick, so I'm going to say it should have been this. Basically, it should have been this. I think this would have been a great card. If this was a third pick, the community in general would have went absolutely insane. There would have been not one Yu-Gi-Oh player upset about this pick. This would have been a huge deal for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. And to be honest with you, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players would have had even more speculation as far as more cards that adhere to possibly GOAT/collector cards. It would have been a big deal. Toon Kingdom, once again, like I said, at least the pre-sale price is going to sell good. I mean, if you're an OTS store and somehow some guy gets a pack early and somehow lists online or whatever, or if you get the day one, you get OTS Starter Pack 14 and get Toon Kingdom is what I'm trying to say, not the other thing. It's really cool to see that this card, that Toon Kingdom would sell for a lot of money because, let's be honest, collectors are not going to be competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players. They're just going to buy. But BLS would have held so much more value. Borderlord Savage Dragon as the ultimate rare would have been a cool pick. Think about it. Yes, it did get a prismatic rarity in the 2020 Mega Tins, but who cares? Those things are trash. And yeah, it's in Savage Strike right now as an ultra rare. That's finally low. I mean, it's like 14 bucks as an ultra rare. Awesome. But this card's used in almost every single mid-range and combo deck in the game right now, which is the majority of the competitive meta. So even though, yes, it's cool to see Nibiru, which is mostly a side deck card, so a nice main deck, it would have been cool to see Borderlord Savage Dragon, which is a card Yu-Gi-Oh players want. The only argument we can see here is the fact that Borderlord Savage Dragon is a 1 of, where Nibiru's a 3 of. But then again, if we're going to go by that logic, look at OTS on back 13, look at Abyssal and go, yeah, I only need one of those. Well, I just need one, I'm good. Anyway, next is Ronin Tonin. This card came out in OTS Tournament Pack 4. Not so OTS Tournament Pack 9, like Super Rare Polymerization. No. OTS Tournament Pack 4. And I'm not even arguing for this card to come on OTS 14 as a Super Rare. Can we get this card as a common? Right now, Super Rare copies of Ronin Tonin coming out of OTS Tournament Pack 4 with a $13 market price is roughly around $13. $13 for a Ronin Tonin. Hey, don't worry about it. If you don't want this version, you can always buy the common. Coming out of Shining Darkness with a $3 market price, unlimited and first edition versions are roughly around $3 to $4 with shipping included. Yeah, this should have been in there as a common. I mean, Void Ogre Dragon, not bad. Ronin Tonin, really good. Then we have another pick that I would like for that mid-range pick. Once again, instead of Super Poly, which I'm not complaining about, I'm okay with this. I like it. I really do. I'm not going to argue about that. I think it's a great pick. Shadow Fusion would have been an insanely good pick. Let's look at analyze it completely. Competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players as well as casual Yu-Gi-Oh players love Shadows. Like, love Shadows. Find me a Yu-Gi-Oh player who doesn't love Shadows. You have a Yu-Gi-Oh player that used to play Magic that just starts playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Has no idea how fun that deck is. Shadows is a great deck that can be played at both the casual and competitive level. And that's why it's such a good deck that people enjoy. I mean, recently at this past online tournament weekend, a Shadow variant, well, not really fully Shadows, but you get what I'm saying. Use Shadows, kind of brought out Shadow Fusion. And you can make the argument, wait a minute, V, in that case, we should make Shadow Winda. I guess so, but the reason why I like Shadow Fusion more than Shadow Winda is because, once again, it's a mid-range pick. If it was in the competitive slot, for competitive players, yeah, I think we would have Winda, but that would have been a terrible pick. But for the mid-range pick between casuals and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players, I think Shadow Fusion would have been the better pick. I think it would have been really fun. I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players would have actually been excited about this, and especially with the December banners coming through, in which we more than likely know that Links, Dragon Links, as well as Infernobles are about to take a backseat. They're not going to be tier 1. They might even fall down to tier 1.5. And we might see decks like Ellic, Invoke, Shadow variants, whatever. Those hybrid variants of Dogmatica, they get pushed to tier 1. And the meta actually slows down. Shadow Fusion would actually look even better, especially when you got to realize the fact that OTS Song Pack 14 comes out in November, right before the ban list. Konami, I want to emphasize one real quick point. I know you just reprinted Smoke Grenade in OTS Song Pack 14. Are you going to, and this is a real big deal, hit Smoke Grenade? So when we go into December and we're playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, and we got Smoke Grenades, super rares that everyone has now, great. Are you gonna hit it? So Yu-Gi-Oh players going to their locals or remote duels are gonna be getting OTS packs with banned cards. That would be horrible. By not, and once again, guys, we really emphasize, by not hitting Smoke Grenade, you'll allow that card to see play. I don't know what else you can hit for Nobles. Probably Isoled. And if you limit ISO, it does nothing, so you have to ban ISO, you basically kill the deck. And then at that point, when we get Super Rare Smoke Grenades on the OTS Tournament Pack 14, Infernobles look even more crappier, because, like, why would you want that card? You're either getting a banned card or a dead deck card. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, why did you put Smoke Grenade in here as a Super Rare? Should have been common. Common, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh players would care as much, but the fact that you took a Super Rare slot and did that, rather than add, like, Dragoons or another Mermail card, I don't know. That's a weird situation I wouldn't want to be in. Borosaur Dragon should have been the Ultimate Rare main deck slot as well. Now, let me just really emphasize, if I had my choice, this would be number 3 on my list. Obviously, I would choose something like Infinite Permits or Ash Blossom Joy Spring as a slot for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players, for the tier 1 slot. But if they said no, I would go with my 3rd slot. My 3rd choice would be Borosaur Dragon. This card still sees meta play. It's still a hugely wanted card by a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players. And you know what? One could make a good argument to put this in the tier 1.5 slot. Once again, the center slot in the OTS pack. So I really want to emphasize this point because this is what Konami's been doing with a lot of OTS pack releases. You got one for competitive players. You got one for the middle ground between casual and competitive. And then you got the wild card. This would adhere to collectors. It would adhere to Go players. It would adhere to deck specifics. In the last OTS 13, that slot went to Traptrix Raffasilia. Or, actually, no. Now I'm thinking about it. That slot went to Book of Moon, not Traptrix Raffasilia. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, that's basically the slots we're talking about. Borosaur could fit into the 1st or 2nd slot. I think casual players still can play Borosaur because it did get reprinted as an ultra rare, which limited the value of the card, which made it more accessible for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players. It's currently $17, which, it's a one-off. Okay, and this card. Pot of Extravagance as the Ultimate Rare is inevitable. I'm not sure people are going to be guessing me on this one or going, no, it'll never happen. Looking at Pod Duality, looking at Pod Desires with the Ultimate Rare slot that they fit in, it's only a matter of time before Pot of Extravagance becomes Ultimate Rare. By the way, higher than Collector Rare. So, looking at Pot of Extravagance right now, the Secret coming out of Savage Strike with a $28 market price. Unlimited, it's about $23. But after that 23 is gone, it goes right up to $28. If you want a first version of Secret Pot of Extravagance, original print, once again, that's like $36. And that's original print. If we're talking about collectors Pot of Extravagance, $94 market price. Unlimited is roughly around $71. If you want to, if you want a first version of that card, that'll be, where is it? $190. Wow, it's actually still a lot of money. $190 for Pot of Extravagance. What I'm trying to say here is that Ultimate Rare will be eventually higher than Collector's Rare. And don't go, no, V, it's already at $200 for the Collector's Rare. I get it, but Ultimate Rare is better than Collector's Rare. I'm sorry. Like, a lot of people get upset about this, but, like, it's just what it is. You know, given the time frame, given the time difference, the values of Collector's Rares have tanked, for the most part. Pot of Extravagance is another good example. It's cost so much money. I mean, it's still $190, but that's way less than what it was when it first debuted, and will continue to drop down, not increase, as we'll see an Ultimate Rare slot come out of nowhere, go down, and then in time go higher than Pot of Extravagance. Want a good example of this? Look at Pot of Duality Ultimate Rare. Okay, anyway, Pot of Extravagance should be on an upcoming OTS set. Don't be surprised when it happens. I mean, it just makes sense. It's a great card for competitive / casual Yu-Gi-Oh players. It could be the middle slot, to be honest with you. And that's the cool thing about Pot of Extravagance. Even though you had Pot of Duality and Pot of Desires be like the main thing of that OTS set, Extravagance is really good, but not too good. It has a huge limitation, and only certain decks can play it. Whereas Pot of Desires, a lot of decks can play it. Pot of Duality, when it first debuted, every deck can play it. Pot of Extravagance, some decks can play it, depending what you want to give up. Listen, I think Pot of Extravagance as the Ultimate Rare will eventually come out soon as well. I felt like this card was another great contender to be on OTS Tournament Pack 14. Obviously, I was wrong. And I think everyone would really wish Toon Kingdom said Pot of Desires instead. I really, really do. But this is the current OTS set. Going over OTS Tournament Pack 14, I will say I'm not upset about this. It's definitely way better than OTS Tournament Pack 13. I wish there were certain better improvements, but overall, this is a decent OTS Tournament Pack set. We're spoiled because the last one, OTS Pack, what we got? It was like Levy in the Year, I think it was 13 or 12. It was like Levy in the Year, Suapal, no, I'm sorry, Levy in the Year, I'm just gonna go to it real quickly. Solemn Judgment, Levy in the Year, and Twin Twisters. And that wasn't even just, I mean, besides that, which is amazing. Oh, no, it was tough, I'm sorry. So, besides that, which is amazing, OTS Tournament Pack 12 had amazing super rares. So, we're like, oh my god, great ultimate rares. And Konami's like, you think that's good? Look at the super rares. And we're like, go ahead here, Konami. You're gonna hook it up with dope super rares too? Konami's like, go ahead, have your fill. And it was just amazing. OTS Tournament Pack 12 had an upgraded version of Grand Maju. It had Salamangreat. It had Orcus. Tenyi Spirit at Heart, which is still seeing play in certain builds. Recently seeing play in Rocks. Some for Spellbooks. And certain for Salamangreat, which is great. And then they hit those decks, so that's not great. And a lot of great common reprints. Well, a good amount of great common reprints. Once again, I think we're spoiled by OTS 1 Pack 12. And OTS 1 Pack 11 was good too. Let's look at that one, because that one's amazing. Pot of Eyes, Dingirsu, kinda. Okay, so we got Orcus Nightmare, Metaverse, which was wanted cards back then, and Konami's like, you like Orcus Nightmare? We're like, yeah. They're like, you want Orcus Swap Horror? We're like, Gaddy, you're not gonna do that. And they're like, Shazam, there it is. And then we got Orcus Swap Horror, Aloof Lupine for any Thunder Dragon player, which was a great card once again. And then we got Nemesis Archer, which was another great card because it was secret rare before that, so it's good to see that. Other great cards, including Maria Greed, Ultigas Kinkuri, Violet Chimera for Salamangre players. Konami's really patting your back before they stick that knife in. And some... Okay, these comments were actually pretty trash. I mean, True Dragon Heritage in return, actually, that's kind of cool. Cyber Dragon Common, like, you know. Okay, anyway. Good Ultimate Rares, good Super Rares, and OTS 1 Pack 11. Then we get 13, which is, I mean, because of the pandemic, realistically messed us up. And then we got 14. And once again, like I said, this isn't a bad OTS set. Even though I'm knocking certain cards, I really do like this set overall. And I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to comment down below that might even complain about it. And I get you in certain cases, like Toon Kingdom. I just don't, okay, I didn't think this is a decent OTS set. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm okay with a lot of the picks. And hopefully we see OTS 1 Pack 15 be the next best OTS set with great printings like, once again, Ashwell from Joyous Spring, Infinite Permanents, maybe even, like I said, BLS. That would be, like, ideal, but we would have to see. Let me know in the comments down below what would be your favorite OTS pick. What's your current favorite OTS card from this set? Mine's is definitely going to be Pseudo-Polymerization. And let me know what you want to change out of it. What would Toon Kingdom be if you were Konami? It's your boy Veen. You Paisanos? You Paisanos have a great day.